Welcome to Changing the Narrative. I'm Kathy Lopes.
I'm Henry Turner.
This is our project to help leaders learn how to create a culture with an anti-racist mindset.
In each episode, we will answer one question to help leaders make an impact in their classroom, school, organization, or really anywhere they lead.
So for today, we're going to discuss if hiring a workforce is a goal of the leader, what hiring practices should they consider?
So certainly in the last episode, we talked about recruiting. And I think that's an important step to make sure that your pool is diverse. And then whether it's a screening committee, yourself, a department head who is doing the recruiting, you want to make sure that there's common norms and goals, that the goal is to increase diversity of your workforce. That's the first one. Second one is to make sure that there's flexibility in your structure, because you may not be aware of what inequities you are creating until afterwards. And I think that we've been a part of several interview teams where in hindsight, we realized that there were some inequities that we were creating after we chose who were the people to interview. So you want to make sure there's some flexibility in your process to make sure that you're checking yourself and able to ensure that you have diverse candidates. And then I would say in terms of the hiring process, you want to make sure that your interview questions are a demonstration of your goals and your values, that you're asking questions that show to the candidate that you're committed to anti-racist practices in our world in education, that you want to ask questions that are around culturally responsive teaching or developing social justice skills, anti-racist skills, addressing systemic racism. You want to ask those questions that signal to the person, this is who you are as a organization.
Yeah, those are important. And I think that some of the things that come up when I sit on interview panels is really pushing the team to deconstruct some of the standards and norms we've become so accustomed to in interviewing and hiring that really benefits some over others. So really looking at the credentialing, is it in line? Do we actually need this level of credentialing? Does it match the job that we're doing? Is there unconscious bias that we have about candidates' names or what schools they went to, or where their jobs have been, that again tend to benefit one group and disenfranchise other groups? I've also noticed sometimes in interviews that the unconscious bias draws people to those that they're comfortable with, those who are already represented in their community. And if you're trying to diversify your school community and your workforce, you have to actually choose candidates that don't have that same level of comfort. And we don't recognize that we do that sometimes, that we're just drawn to people that are like, oh, I think they'd fit in just well. And actually creating diversity is that we're being open to those who might move a little bit differently, look differently, have a different way of doing work, and really honing in on, do we believe that they'd be a good fit for this role? Do we think that they could do this work and do it well, and try to remove some of those standards that can be really harmful to diverse pool of candidates?
Yeah, I think that you hit it on the nail with that last comment about fit. That's a common comment that you hear regularly in an interview process, that I just think this person is the right fit for our culture. Well, then you're going to have a homogenous culture,
Yeah.
right? And we need to think about people who are going to push the boundaries of our culture, who are going to challenge our culture. Then we can start thinking more flexibly in terms of the kind of people that we're looking for. But if we're just looking for people who are going to fit in, then we're going to be hiring the same people, and we're not going to be hiring a diverse workforce. I think that you also, when you were talking about the kinds of people that we're looking for, is when it's just about resume and it's just about experience. Well, when we're looking at only the top 25 schools, universities that have, maybe 8% people of color, 10% people of color, well, then you're not going to have a diverse workforce. If you're just looking for people who have 5 to 10 years of experience, well, you're going to be limiting your options. And so you've got to really think flexibly in terms of what are your goals? Is it someone with experience, or is it having a diverse workforce, which is a bigger priority?
Yeah, no, great point. So just to kind of put that all together, when we're thinking about hiring, we want to set some standards and norms, make sure everyone on the hiring committee is on the same page about what you're looking for. We want to be really flexible with, who we're opening the pool to really get a more diverse breadth of candidates. Check ourselves on our unconscious bias and some of our defaults about who are we comfortable with, and really pushing the boundaries to just expand that. And again, just really be flexible in thinking about what kind of candidates do we want, what are we valuing that they bring, and making sure that we think that they can add to the culture and push us to think further.
Great.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.